Legacy Rescue Full Arc Chapter 42, Akatsuki strikes Konoha Gates. It was a standard day for the Eternal Guards of Konoha's gates. There was a small breeze in the air and the sun was shining high in the sky. Poor Izumo and Kotetsu were in their regular job. Kotetsu was sleeping like always while Izumo was tilting back in his chair looking up at the clear sky. Kukukuku, Izumo heard and shifted his eyes from the sky and into the gates only to come face to face with the snake Sannin himself. "Oh my, look at what we have here," Kukukuku, Orochimaru said, chuckling darkly and licking his lips with his freakish long tongue. "Oh Orochimaru," Izumo stuttered and proceeded to faint, smacking his head on the wooden desk. A small crack appeared as his forehead made contact with the wooden desk. "Too easy," Orochimaru said, poofing into smoke to reveal Naruto in his battle armor. "That wasn't even funny," Naruto pouted while Red, Kushina, grinned at him and Hinata just shook her head. "Alright team," Naruto called out, gathering the attention on the dragons. "Go home while I report with Hinata-chan. I have a few things to talk about with Ba-chan," Naruto said, and everyone blurred out of his sight. It was testament to their power as it only took a split second before every dragon was out of Naruto's field of vision. Then again, what would you expect from an S-rank shinobi? "Let's go Hinata-chan," Naruto said, and both of them jumped high in the sky, taking the rooftops towards the Hokage Tower. "Hokage Tower, yo Ba-chan," Naruto said, making a hello gesture with his right arm as he entered Tsunade's office. As Naruto entered the office, it came into view just how much paperwork there was. 3 Tsunades were working hard on the paperwork while, what Naruto guessed was the original, laid back on her chair with a cup of tea. "Working hard, I see," Naruto said, amused with the glare he was receiving from the clones. He gave a small chuckle when he heard the clones murmur something about a rebellion against their tyrannical leader. "A woman has to do what a woman has to do, I guess," Tsunade happily said, taking a sip of her drink. "Shut up and back to work," Tsunade yelled when she noticed the clones glaring at her. They flinched and got back to work, growling at their maker. "So, welcome back," Tsunade said, welcoming Naruto and Hinata. "They have been gone a couple of weeks." She was pleased as to how good things were going. She had been hearing good news from the mist. "It's good to be back." "Mist is too moist for my taste," Naruto said, sighing in relief, "and that mist is everywhere, and I mean everywhere," Naruto said while Tsunade's sweat dropped as his behavior. "I didn't mind that kind of weather," Hinata replied, bringing a finger to her chin. "Of course you didn't," Naruto replied, shaking his head. "In there you could pull water from the air as you pleased," Naruto explained, and Hinata happily nodded. "Enough of this pleasantries. Report," Tsunade ordered, and Naruto snapped from his child's play and into his formal stance. The mission was a complete success. "I'm pleased to say that the rebel side won the war, and with only 5% casualties since our arrival. Yagura, the Yondaime Mizukage, Jinchuriki of the Sanbai, was defeated and his tailed beast was set free," Naruto explained, and Tsunade raised an eyebrow. "Yes, the price they paid for our help was a promise to never seal the Sanbai into anyone," Naruto said, and got a small smile in his lips when he heard Kurama chuckle in his head. "And, they went along with that?" Tsunade asked, dubious that they would agree with such terms. "Kind of. I made a deal with Isabu that if he guarded their village as guardian instead of a prisoner then he would be free," Naruto said, but Tsunade still wasn't convinced. It seemed that there was a chunk missing in his story. And the fact that Naruto-kun promised pain to anyone that hurt the Sanbai also helped. Hinata supplied, getting a glare from Naruto. Tsunade didn't need to know that Naruto was already threatening their allies. "I should have known," Tsunade said, shaking her head. She should have known that side of Naruto to make sure that the Bijou were treated fairly like any other living being. "Here," Naruto said, and threw a scroll towards Tsunade, who easily caught it. "What's this?" Tsunade asked as she unwrapped the scroll, but Naruto shrugged his shoulders. The scroll was addressed specifically toward Tsunade and Naruto didn't have the right to open it instead of her. This. Tsunade stared with her eyes widened looking at the content of the scroll. What's wrong? Naruto asked curious as to what would get such reaction from Tsunade. It was like someone had just offered to pay up all of Tsunade's debts while giving her sake. The mist is willing to forge their special blades for us to use as a token of their appreciation for our help and to cement the alliance, Tsunade said gobsmacked. The mist was willing to forge their special swords for Konoha to use. The mist had the best swords and all of them were special. Either being the Zabuza's Kubikuribocho or Kisame Samahata. Really? Naruto asked surprised and Tsunade slowly nodded. She chuckled and placed down the scroll. The future was looking good and she could have sworn she heard a squeal from Nico, Yugao, up in the ceiling. But enough of this, any casualties? Tsunade asked roaming through the paperwork. Yeah, about that, Naruto said chuckling and scratching the back of his head. What happened? Tsunade said in a dangerous voice with her eyes blazing with fire. Even the clones stopped working and joined in the glare. I swear it was Green's, Hashirama, idea, Naruto quickly said backing up and putting his hands up as a shield. Back in the mist Tobirama and Mei were just having fun with each other use your imagination. But if you want to read it the link to the post will be in the description. Now time for the next part of the story. Back in Konoha, so you hooked up Blue, Tobirama, with Mei? Tsunade asked and Naruto slowly nodded from behind Hinata, much to her amusement. Nice work brat, Tsunade said and Naruto was surprised by that but nonetheless sighed in relief. Naruto thought he would be in the receiving end of one of her punches when he and Hashirama decided to play matchmakers. Mei is a strong and independent woman. She will do him good, Tsunade said and Naruto nodded. The only thing in real danger was Tobirama's balls but Naruto could heal him should anything happen. And if things go well we might have a wedding to further cement our alliance, Tsunade said and Naruto nodded knowing that it was very true. Can you send your Umbu out of the room? Naruto rhetorically asked. I need to talk to you in private, Naruto said and Tsunade quickly caught up with the serious voice and did just that. With a small wave of hand and the Umbu left the room. Naruto placed a quick silent seal to that nothing got out. So what is it that you want? Tsunade asked cautiously and with a serious face. I need permission to talk with Sasuke, Naruto said and Tsunade started sweating. Yeah, about that, Tsunade said chuckling nervously. He, kind of escaped the prison, Tsunade stated while her clones chuckled evilly at their owner's misfortune. How the fuck did he do that? Naruto blurted out. Language Naruto-kun, Hinata said scolding Naruto. I mean, I destroyed his chakra network. Not even you could have healed that kind of damage so how the hell did he manage to escape? Naruto asked and Tsunade sighed before explaining everything and showing him the surveillance tape that showed Tobi knocking the Umbu out and warping away with Sasuke. Gh, Naruto shouted in frustration and releasing enough chakra to crack the ground. That damned Uchiha is everywhere. Just what the hell does he want? Naruto yelled. First he released the Kyuubi in Konoha killing my mother and father in the process. Then he goes to the mist and starts a bloodline war. He what? Tsunade shouted rising from her chair but Naruto kept rambling on and promising a painful death to Tobi. Tobi was behind the scenes controlling Yagura. He was one that began the bloodline purge although I don't know to what end, Hinata explained towards her sensei who fell back to her chair. Who the hell is this Uchiha? How can someone so powerful stay hidden from everyone? Especially to Konoha that was the Uchiha's birthplace. Tsunade-bachan, Naruto said breaking Tsunade's train of thought. I want access to Konoha's archives about the Uchiha clan and permission to exhume Uchiha now, Naruto said, and Tsunade raised an eyebrow. Why do you want that? Tsunade asked, and Naruto motioned Hinata to explain. I fought against an Uchiha back in the mist. She was a few years older than me and she had an eternal Manjikyu Sharingan, Hinata explained, and Tsunade's jaw dropped. Just what the hell was going on here? Uchihas were popping out everywhere. It's like they were copying each other. A/N, the irony. Are you sure? Tsunade asked, and Hinata nodded. I want to confirm that she existed and to see if there is a body to begin with, Naruto explained, and Tsunade nodded, nursing her temples. She was having such a good day until Naruto arrived. Fine, Tsunade agreed, stamping a paper and giving it to Naruto so he had access to the archives. I'll set up the exhumation and perform the autopsy on the body, if there is one, Tsunade said. Alright, Naruto cheered back to his old personality. To Ichiraku's ramen stand, Naruto yelled, pumping his fists into the air and walking out the room with Hinata shaking her head at his behavior. Not so fast, Tsunade called out from behind her desk and stopping Naruto on his tracks. Now that you are back from your mission, I already have something planned for all of the dragons while you are on vacation, so to speak, Tsunade stated, and Naruto stared at her. It seems that Tobirama will be busy in Kiri, so that leaves the dragons one man down. Since our Umbu commander decided to get himself killed, I need Hashirama and Minato on Umbu duty, Tsunade explained, roaming through the maze of papers before turning to Hinata. Hinata-chan, I need you at the hospital. We are short on personnel and you could really help us out, Tsunade said, and Hinata nodded. As for you, Naru-chan, I have a very good assignment, Tsunade said, chuckling, and Naruto raised an eyebrow at her tone. I want you to participate on a small lecture at the academy for the students, Tsunade said, and Naruto stared at her. You want me to what? Naruto asked, confused as he didn't know exactly what to do. You want me to teach the brats or something? Naruto asked, tilting his head to the side. Nothing like that. Konohamaru, you and Kakashi will be participating in a small lecture on the students. To tell them what the shinobi life is like from Genin to Chunin and finally Jounin. Tsunade explained, and Naruto slowly nodded. Why me though? Naruto asked, confused. There are plenty of Chunin around, Naruto stated. True, but you are the clan head of the Senju clan. Being a clan head does bring some obligations. Konohamaru is the third's grandson and most likely one of the most promising and well-known genins. The same could be said for you in the Chunin area, and Kakashi is one of our best jounins, Tsunade explained, and Naruto nodded. Might be fun, Naruto said, grinning. So when is this lecture I have to give? Naruto asked. I'll set it up and tell you later, Tsunade said, and Naruto and Hinata left the room. Shizun, Tsunade yelled from her desk. Moments later, Shizun walked inside, prep an autopsy room. I want this done quietly, understand? Tsunade asked, and Shizun nodded. What are you looking at? Tsunade growled at her clones. Back to work, she ordered, and clones mumbled something before going to their daily work. Ah, Tsunade sighed, tilting back on her chair. The wonderful life of a Kage, Tsunade said, taking a sip of her tea. Ichiraku's ramen stand. Naruto and Hinata arrived in a swirl as Naruto used his Kamui to quickly arrive at his favorite stand. And he was surprised to see Red, Kushina, gobbling up bowls of ramen. She was eating bowl after bowl, and didn't even invite Naruto. Dear Lord, Ichiraku said as she sped through the kitchen to keep up with the demand. It's like the Red Death is here once again, Ichiraku said, and Naruto chuckled inwardly. Old man, Naruto called out as he sat down with Hinata. You better speed up as I'm hungry, Naruto said, and Ichiraku paled. Aya me, get in here, Ichiraku shouted to his daughter as he needed more hands on deck. Ayame ran into the kitchen and barely was able to greet Naruto before Ichiraku shoved a bowl in her face. "How about a contest to see who eats more?" Naruto asked Red, who grinned behind her mask. Ichiraku paled when he heard that. It was a shame he didn't know any clone technique. "Ready?" Red said as both of them picked up their chopsticks. Hinata and Yellow, Minato, could only shake their heads at their face-off. "Set," Red said as a bowl of ramen was placed down in front of each. "Go," Red said, and in a flash the bowl was empty. Ichiraku was running from place to place that he was sweating. 10 bowls down, Naruto shouted as he managed to get a small lead ahead of Kushina. 10, another, Kushina shouted at Ichiraku, who flinched and quickly placed another bowl down. 1 hour later. "Victory," Naruto shouted as he placed the final bowl down and looked towards Kushina, who was passed out on her stool. "I think," Naruto said as he brought his hand to his mouth, "I'm gonna be sick," Naruto said and run towards a nearby bush and emptied his stomach. Kushina said from the stool as she regained her bearings. "I win, you couldn't hold your liquor," Kushina said, panting before running the same bush. "Unbelievable," Kurama muttered inside his host's mind. Even the fox was started to feel nauseated. "That's disgusting," Hinata said, and Minato just chuckled. Hinata and Minato ate a few bowls each one and stopped once they were full, but Naruto seemed to have other plans. Both he and Kushina managed to eat an impressive amount of 50 bowls before both threw up. "I feel awful," Naruto said as stumbled his way towards his girlfriend. "See you tomorrow, old man," Naruto said towards Ichiraku, who was on the ground huffing from the workout. Naruto took 2 steps before slamming face first on the ground with Kushina on top. "You take her, I take him," Hinata said towards Minato, who nodded and picked up Kushina from the ground. "Naruto," Hinata called out towards his boyfriend as he leaned of her arms for support. "I have a favor to ask you," Hinata said, and Naruto raised an eyebrow at her request. "Anything for you, Hinata-chan," Naruto said, channeling a bit of Kurama's chakra to speed the healing and bring him out of his sickness. "I want to learn senjutsu." Hinata and Naruto stopped walking and turned towards her. "Okay, but why?" Naruto asked, confused. "Besides the fact it would be a huge power boost to me, I also want to explore the medical applications of it. I heard that Hashirama can do wonders with it and I want to try it as well," Hinata explained, and Naruto chuckled before nodding. "Of course. Since we have a few days, I'll teach you how gather and control it," Naruto said, and Hinata pecked his cheek. "Now, how about I show you just how thankful I am," Hinata whispered into Naruto's ear, nibbling on his earlobe. He didn't have to be told twice before flashing away, leaving Minato with a fainted Kushina on his arms. "How come I didn't think of that?" Minato asked to no one as he also flashed home. Takigakure. Next day Takigakure was having a peaceful day as any other. Taki was a small shinobi village that didn't even come close to one of the Great Five. Their army rounded only 1,000 shinobi, and many wondered why they had a bijou to begin with. "It's been a while," a man clad with a black cloak with red clouds said as he and another man stopped walking. "I haven't been here in many years," Kakuzu said as he overlooked what was once his home village. "Oi oi oi," the other man screamed to his partner. He wore the same black cloak with red clouds. He had silver hair that was slicked back and purple eyes. On his back he carried a triple-bladed scythe. "Don't you go all mushy on me," Haiden screamed. "Shut up, Haiden, or do you want us to be caught?" Kakuzu reasoned as they walked through the village disguised by a small genjutsu. "If it were up to me I would kill everybody so I could bathe in the glory of Jashin-sama. All hail Jashin," Haiden screamed, drawing the attention of nearby people. "Shut up, Haiden, or I'll kill you," Kakuzu stated. "As if you could," Haiden replied, making Kakuzu groan in annoyance. They seemed to be walking calmly, but both of them kept their ears sharp for any chatter regarding Fu, the Jinchuriki they were hunting. "Thank you," Fu said to the store owner as she ran towards her house with a small bag. "Green hair, orange eyes. It's her Haiden," the Jinchuriki of the Nanobite Kakuzu said as both of them watched their target leave running towards the edge of the village. After all, the village was rather small when compared to the others' great nations. "If I remember correctly, she's heading to the edge of the village," Kakuzu murmured to himself. "Why don't you go play with the village while I take our target?" Kakuzu said to his teammate. "Finally, watch this Jashin-sama, it will be a show that you will never forget," Haiden said. He dispelled the genjutsu and picked his scythe before he went running through the village swinging his scythe wildly. "And people say I'm insane for collecting hearts," Kakuzu said as he watched Haiden behead a civilian. "At least he will keep the village out of my way while I finish things with Fu," Kakuzu said to himself before blurring after Fu. "Waterfall Tower, Shibuki-sama," one shinobi yelled as he rushed towards the waterfall tower in the middle of the village. "What's the problem?" Shibuki quickly replied, standing up from his chair. "We, are being attacked by a nuke-nin," the shinobi explained, taking deep breaths. "Nuke-nin as in single?" Shibuki asked, and the shinobi only nodded. "Gather the civilians and evacuate them to the tunnels beneath the lake. Summon the waterfall unit and have him stall the enemy until evacuation is complete," Shibuki ordered, and the shinobi nodded, poofing into smoke. "Takigakure, main clearing Mua," Haiden laughed as he slashed yet another poor soul. "All hail Jashin," Haiden shouted as he bathed in the blood of his enemies. "Mizu Tatsumaki, water tornado," Shibuki said, blurring through hand seals. A tornado of water rushed head-on and crashed into Haiden, who was sent flying into a nearby tree. "Who the fuck did that?" Haiden screamed as he got up to see someone with ink-black eyes and long, dark brown hair. "Black cloak with red clouds, Akatsuki," Shibuki thought in worry. If this shinobi was really from the Akatsuki, then there was no one in the village strong enough to take him down. "Send word to the Leaf that we are under attack and dispatch a team to Fu's location," Shibuki ordered. "We can only hope to hold on until help arrives," Shibuki thought to himself as he made another set of hand seals. "Takigakure, Mizukiri no Yaiba, waterfall style, water-cutting sword," Shibuki said as water materialized itself on the palm of his hand and suddenly solidified. Shibuki rushed head-on against the trespasser. Looking at the horizon, he could see smoke from an explosion. "Don't you dare lose Fu," Shibuki thought as he clashed with Haiden's scythe. Each clash of sword against scythe drew sparks from the power behind each swings. Shibuki ducked under a horizontal swing. Shibuki kicked Haiden's foot, making him lose his balance, and tackled him away to get some distance. Haiden got up and rushed Shibuki. Haiden ducked under a kunai thrown by another shinobi. Haiden jumped in the air and brought his scythe down only for Shibuki to sidestep it and thrust his blade forward. Haiden tilted his body to the side and allowed the blade to pass by him safely. Haiden titled his head back and head-butted Shibuki, who groaned in pain and fell backwards. "Suetun, Suryuden no Jutsu, water dragon," Shibuki called out, and a water dragon rose from the dragon with shining yellow eyes. The dragon roared and went for Haiden, who placed his scythe in front of him, blocking most of the damage, but nonetheless he was blasted backwards. "Die!" Shibuki yelled as he appeared next to a dazed Haiden and flexed his blade forward. The blade went through Haiden's back, right through his hearth. "Awesome!" a shinobi cheered. "Shibuki-sama is strong," another stated. "Phew-uck," Haiden said as he spat some blood into the ground. "That hurt," Haiden said, looking directly at the widened eyes of Shibuki and everyone else. "Oi, stop moving will you," Haiden said, and Shibuki quickly withdrew his blade and went to behead Haiden only to have his arm caught. Haiden caught his arm and kicked him away. What monster is he? Shibuki asked as he spat blood to the ground and got up into a defensive stance. Fetch the Ayu no Mizu, hero's water, Shibuki ordered, and the shinobi paled but went to get it. Apparently the enemy was stronger than it seemed. Fu vs Kakuzu. The tree was completely destroyed and a massive fireball collided with it. Fu jumped out and landed safely on the ground. She turned and came face to face with her aggressor. So you came for me after all, Fu said as her heart started racing and adrenaline flooded her veins. Why don't you just come with us, girl? You and I both know you stand no chance, Kakuzu stoically said. I have a few aces up my sleeves, Fu said as she blurred through hand seals. Suetun, Teppadama, water bullet, Fu said and send multiple water bullets against Kakuzu who remained in place. Doton, Tsuchi no Yoroi, rock armor, Kakuzu thought as his skin became pitch black from being hardened with earth chakra. The water bullets hit Kakuzu but he wasn't even phased. Kakuzu didn't even buckle as they felt nothing more than drops of water, like if it were rain. Tisk, Fu thought as she thought what she could do against such foe. She didn't want to call and depend on Naruto to help her. If she called him, she would be placing him in harm's way as well, and she didn't want to risk it unless she absolutely needed to. Kakuzu dashed forward and engaged Fu in a taijutsu brawl. Fu quickly realized she didn't stand a chance as she was easily overpowered in both speed and strength. Fu's hits couldn't scratch Kakuzu's hardened skin and his punches felt like stone. Doton, Domu, Earth Spear, Kakuzu said as his right fist hardened even more and slammed into Fu's face. Fu dispersed in a puddle of water. Water clone, Kakuzu thought as several water whips burst from the ground and wrapped around his feet. Suetun, Suryuden no Jutsu, water dragon, Fu shouted as a massive dragon rose from the ground, headed towards the immobile Kakuzu who stood his ground. The dragon washed into him with high pressure. Once the dragon attack was over, Kakuzu stood there being only drenched head to toe. You are going to have to do better, Kakuzu said as he broke the water restraints and jumped back to gain some distance. My turn, Kakuzu said flashing through hand seals. Katan, Zukaku no Jutsu, cranium carver, Kakuzu said and small but powerful fireball was sent towards Fu at high speeds. Fu poofed into smoke, revealing a small wooden log as the fireball crashed into the ground and exploded in a fire dome, scorching the ground and lighting up the tree in flames. Fu watched sadly as her house was consumed by the flames. Fu turned her attention towards her village and noticed that there were also fires there. She figured that the village was being kept busy while Kakuzu dealt with her. That, or the village as simply not bothered to send help. After all, who would want to help out a demon? Fu was brought out of her thoughts when she saw Kakuzu rushing towards her. Let me help, Chomei said, thought their mental link. Chomei, Fu said, surprised to hear her. If they capture you, it will be the end for both of us, Chomei reasoned, but Fu was adamant. I can't control your chakra in the version 2 cloak and I think that the version 1 won't do much against them, Fu replied to her bijou as she held off Kakuzu as best as she could. Power isn't always the best solution, Chomei critically said, bringing a small smile to Fu's face. You have other gifts other than my chakra, Chomei said, and Fu nodded, ducking under a punch and jumping backwards to safety. Hijitsu, Mushio's, insect summoning jutsu, Fu said as she placed her hands on the ground and started releasing chakra into it. Insects from all kinds started gathering near Fu. Kakuzu wanted none of that and rushed forward. Kakuzu thought that Fu was weak and wasn't necessary to employ any ninjutsu for now. Bojui no Jin, spindle formation, Fu said, and a wave of bugs rushed Kakuzu in a spiral formation, stopping any advancement he tried. Kakuzu was being overwhelmed by the amount of bugs. Kakuzu decided to stop playing with his prey and his skin burst open. From inside of his body came out a glob of black something with a red mask. The red mask flew high into the sky and fired S fireball towards the original Kakuzu. Kakuzu was set on flames and the bugs incinerated as part of his cloak. A small price to pay to get rid of those annoyances. Fu ducked under whip of something black. She looked carefully at Kakuzu and noticed that he was releasing black threads from his skin. "You're Kakuzu, a nuke from this village," Fu said, shocked. This person defected long ago, but apparently he was still running around. "Indeed," Kakuzu said as he released a mouthful of black threads from his mouth. His body started convulsing as 3 other black globes shot from inside of it. Kakuzu was now standing with 4 masks around him. 1 red mask, 1 light blue, 1 dark blue, and the last was a yellow mask. Both red and light blue masks came together and fused. Both masks opened their mouths as chakra started gathering in each. Katan, Zukaku no Jutsu, Cranium Carver. Futon, Atsugai, Pressurized Wind Bomb. Both masks released the attacks. The fire stream combined with the wind attack powering it up. A wave of fire was released, scorching the ground as it made its way towards Fu, who had her eyes widened at the magnitude of the attack. Fu channeled a little of her Biju's chakra and focused it on her back. Suddenly 2 wings popped out and started flapping wildly. Fu quickly rose into the sky as high as she could to try and escape the inferno that her enemy had unleashed. Though she avoided the fire attack, she didn't get too far as the light blue mask came up behind her. Futon, Atsugai, Pressurized Wind Bomb. The light blue mask released a pressurized wind bomb that collided head-on with Fu. Fu crashed hard into the ground and had trouble getting up from taking such direct blow. Fu winced as Komiai's chakra got to work on healing her wounds as she got back up. Hiden, Rinpungakure no Jutsu, Secret, Hiding in Scale Powder Technique, Fu said as she exhaled a white power temporarily blinding Kakuzu. Fu got up and jumped back as far as she could to regain her breath. "Man, I never had such fun," Hiden said as he approached Kakuzu. Hiden was carrying someone on his back. There was a body dangling from the scythe. "Oh, back already?" Kakuzu asked as he noticed how bloody Hiden was. "It looks like you didn't lose your head this time," Kakuzu said. "Shut up, you bastard," Hiden screamed, and Fu's eyes widened when she saw Shibuki's form with a scythe through his chest. "No, Shibuki," Fu thought, sobbing as massive amount of chakra surged through her body. Kakuzu and Hiden stopped talking and turned their attention towards Fu. "You bastards, I'm going to kill you both," Fu shouted as purple chakra surrounded and she entered her version 2 cloak.